If you have a savings account at a large bank or credit union, you need to get your money out of there fast. I'm Shaheedah Hill, getting you over the hill to wealth, home ownership, and investing. If you are saving for something you need in the short term, be it an emergency fund, your down payment on your home, and you have it like most Americans at one of these banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they are paying you pennies for your savings and you have other options. So I want to share with you today where your money should be for the short term to make the most money possible. Okay. And why a lot of people are not moving their money out of these large banks. On average, large banks are only paying you 0.4%. That's less than 1% interest on your money in savings. So again, these are for things that you're trying to do in the short term. Maybe you're saving for a car, your home down payment, that sort of thing. You want to have it in the highest yielding savings account possible. But a lot of people, just out of convenience, because they have their checking accounts with these larger banks, again, banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they feel it's easier and it's very time consuming to make these switches. But it's a switch you should make because on average, like I said, you're only being paid 0.4% interest on your money, which right now at the same time, there are banks offering 3 to 4% on average to pay you interest on your savings account. So I want to give you at least 3 other options that you can use other than these large banks or even large credit unions. Although credit unions typically do have a higher interest rate, they're still generally not as high as some of these other financial institutions. Let's look at what we would get if we had $10,000 in savings. So say that you had $10,000 in your emergency fund. You're just leaving it there for an emergency. You want to separate that out from your investments, but you have it, say, at Bank of America or Wells Fargo. And they're paying you, like I said, 0.4% or less in a lot of cases. So you would only make $40 for the year on that $10,000. And in comparison to that, some of these other banks offering, say, 3.3%, you would make $330 on that money for the year. So it's a huge difference, and it's a difference that you should make. Now, here are some of the reasons why people feel like they don't want to make that switch. So one of the things that people are looking at is loyalty. They feel loyal to Bank of America, the banks that they have been using for a long time. And I want to say these banks, it's about, they're a business. So they're not loyal to you. You do not have to be loyal to them. You need to really shop around and find the best growth for your money. Okay, so the best growth for your money. So if you're shopping around and they're not offering it to you, then you need to move your money. So in a savings account, a lot of people say they like the convenience of having the bank. A lot of these banks, the larger banks, have a lot of branches, usually in their city, but your savings account is something you're not going to access, or you should not be accessing that often. So you don't really need the convenience. It's often better for you to put it in a bank that you don't go to often, so you're not tempted to make transfers from your savings to your checking and that sort of thing. So it's almost better because a lot of these banks that I'm going to give you as an alternative that pay higher interest, they're only online. But that's better for you because if you had to, make a transfer, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. You just can't go to the ATM or go to the branch. It may not be the same day where, if you transfer from at the same bank, if you transfer from your savings to your checking, it's a lot easier. You want to make it less convenient for you to touch your savings because again, you're saving for something else. These are 3 of the banks that I would recommend at least you look into as alternatives to some of the large banks. And at the time of this video, this is how much interest they're paying. So the first one is SoFi. SoFi is paying 3.75% on your savings. Discover is paying 3.3%. And Marcus by Goldman Sachs is paying 3.3%. And so those are much, much significantly higher than what you were getting from your large bank. And don't worry about safety. So your money is safe, just as safe as it is with one of the large banks. It's just as safe with these online banks, because most accounts, you can double check, but most of these accounts are FDIC insured up to $250,000, meaning they're backed by the government up to $250,000 per bank. So your money is safe as long as you don't have that much money in it, up to $250,000, just as your accounts are safe with Bank of America up to $250,000. FDIC insurance insures those accounts. So don't get nervous just because they're not a large bank or a large name, that thinking that your money is not safe. But I want you to take, especially your savings, I want you to make as much money, especially with inflation. If inflation is at 7%, right, and we're getting 4%, in our savings accounts, you're still kind of at a loss, but you're definitely at a loss at that lower rate. So you want to make sure that you're putting your money in the best places possible. And I want you to, if you're interested in longer term investment options, I don't want you to have your down payment money or your emergency fund in, longer term investments. Like I said, stocks, bonds, your 401ks, your retirement accounts. But please like and subscribe to my channel so we can talk about the best places for your longer term investments. But please get your money out of these larger banks. Please like and subscribe to my channel for new videos every week.